Hi folks, it's Simon Keeling here, and there he is again, our man. Yep, it's getting closer. Only a few more days to go now, and I really do hope that he's wrapped up warm, because conditions at the pole are looking pretty cold. This is the forecast for midnight on Christmas Day. UK here, look, edge your way northwards. Here's the pole, and this is giving predictions of temperatures of around minus 39 to minus 42 degrees Celsius at the North Pole on Christmas morning. So it's certainly going to be a bit of a cold flight for the fella in red. It's Tuesday the 20th, and I've been kind of mulling around over the last few days about sea surface temperatures and just wondering what effect this pool of cold water in the middle part of the Atlantic is having on the atmosphere at the moment. We've got troughs that are moving through this area, and with cold air at the surface and cold air up aloft, I'm suspicious that these troughs that are moving through just aren't able to become as unstable as they normally would do. So although we're seeing some sharp troughs developing, by the time they're moving over this colder water, there isn't that contrast between the warm air at the surface and the cold air above to really get them going, and that's why as they head eastwards I think we're tending to see them weaken off. And this is the 7 to 10 day mean forecast from the ECMWF and from the GFS here. This is running through from a week today through to Friday the 30th, and you can see how the ECMWF maintains these above normal heights through the Atlantic and across the south of the country, below normal to the north, and the result is we get this jet stream flow in between the two areas. Follow the jet stream back and you can see its source is from a cool part of northern Canada, so some pretty cold air feeding into this northern part of the jet with much warmer air down to the south, and this is causing quite a strong jet stream through Scotland during that period. Now the GFS does a similar thing, not quite so happy with the heights off eastern parts of the states, but certainly keeps them above normal to the south of us, below normal to the north, and this results in the jet stream blowing through. So generally looking that during this period from the middle to the end of next week, the jet stream's over us, so certainly some unsettled weather around, and it looks like it's the northern half of the country that's more prone to that. I think down to the south it looks as if conditions stay pretty mild. The North Atlantic Oscillation staying well into positive territory during the coming days, look, even taking us through into the early part of January. It is tending to slip off a little bit, but you can see how each of the runs of the ensemble of the spaghettis, that's each of the members of the ensemble, are all tending into this positive territory. So we can have fairly high confidence. And what that means with a positive NAO is that we get stronger westerly winds coming across the Atlantic, so the flow tends to be from the west to the east as we normally see. If that were going into negative territory, then we'd be looking at that westerly flow breaking down and more of an easterly developing, but because it's in positive territory, that means that the westerlies look as if they're going to be pretty dominant as we get into Christmas and the New Year. And what that means is that temperatures probably are going to be around about normal for most of the country. As far as precipitation goes during the next week, this is from today through to next Tuesday, below normal across the south of the country, entirely what you'd expect to see with the ridge of high pressure building through. So below normal rainfall totals to the south, but around normal for western coast of Scotland and western parts of England. Some outbreaks of rain coming through there thanks to fronts that'll move their way eastwards. The temperature anomalies, well, they're the same from today through to next Tuesday. Look, pretty well above normal just about for many parts of the country, hovering around or just above, and in fact that's the way it is for much of Europe with this westerly flow breaking through. Colder down through the Balkans and across the Alps, good for skiing there, and down through Italy and parts of Spain too. Cooler conditions there, not drastically so, but certainly cooler than they could expect to see usually at this time of year. And I just wanted to show you this chart from Weather Online. These are the charts going through the next few days, and just highlight this to you. The time here is in the top left hand corner. This is from the GFS model, and this is from this morning look, and it shows high pressure here in the Atlantic, the high heights here, lower heights here, and where the lines are close together, that's where we've got the jet stream. And you can see how the jet stream at the moment flows across the Atlantic from Newfoundland, look, down through the UK, dips down through Italy and the Balkans, hence the reason for the cooler weather there, and then heads back north across parts of Russia. Now just watch what happens as the sequence goes on. Look, here we go. Through Wednesday, there's the ridge building in from the Atlantic, from the high pressure down towards the south. This is our trough that we've been watching over the last few days that's heading its way eastwards, look, as we get in towards the end of the week. It doesn't split, it holds itself together as it moves away to the east, deepening as it gets into Eastern Europe, and then another one tries to develop out towards the west, and you can see here that the jet stream's still to the north of Scotland. It's kind of blowing through here, between the Faroes and the Shetland Isles. And this is Christmas Day, look, ridge of high pressure down towards the south, mild conditions across all parts of the country, and then we get ready for that trough to swing through again. Look, another one coming through, and by the middle part of next week, the jet stream hinting at getting a little bit further south through the country, which could just bring in some cooler conditions into the middle of next week. Cold pool developing there across the Mediterranean, so not particularly settled Christmas in the Mediterranean. And then by the end of the week into the new year, the jet stream is active again, and it's kind of meandering around north and south through the country. So I think we're going to be back into a spell of weather where we see the temperatures rising and falling, but no signs of any real deep wintry weather just at the moment. In fact, by January the 1st, this is New Year's Day, midnight, into the new year, you can see here that the jet stream is through Ireland and through the British Isles. So hinting that things are windier and more unsettled into the new year, but still no real sign of winter, at least for the next 10 to 14 days. So hope that's been useful for you, and don't forget that this site is kept free by the advertising you see around it. If you see an advert you like, click on it, go through to the advertiser. It supports them and it supports us as well. So thanks for watching, and keep the sun shining.